Hey guys, Marstingen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so now we're going to take a look at the other Peppy Gals EZA that we got today on Global, which is the INT OCEANUS Shenron. And, oh boy, this, I'm already very aware, of course, from the JP players, the JP meta, that this EZA is not very good. The general comments when she released on the JP side was that they barely even really did anything to her for her EZA, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what she's looking like here. Now, straight away, for Global, we do not have the 200% GT bosses lead, the AGL Carnival LR Omega Shenron. That should be coming to Global early December, because Full Power LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku should be coming out end of November. Unless they match up to 2021 schedule, and then it'll be beginning of November. But yeah, Omega, I think, will be early December for Global. So until then, she doesn't have a 200% leader. She is on the 170 lead for Omega Shenron. I think she might be on one other one. Let me just double check again here. And then, of course, she's on, I think it's like the Super 17, 150% GT bosses, but I mean, obviously, who's running that team, right? Good old GT bosses. So, who was the other 170? Oh, Videl, because she's a Peppy Gals unit, right? Of course. So, yeah, not exactly the craziest teams. Now, we're running her on the Shadow Dragon Saga team with the double EZA physical Omega Shenron. Straight away, one of the issues with this team is going to be the fact that we don't really have slot 1 units on this team. So that's going to be interesting. I did bring these guys just for the potential of seeing their active skill turn. So Shadow Dragons and GT. Oof. Yeah, that is not exactly the greatest link set, right? So her links, if I bring them up at the side, she has Battlefield Diva, Metamorphosis, Cold Judgment, Shadow Dragons, Speedy Retribution. In fact, who even has that link? Speedy Retribution. Wow, okay. So it's Trunks and Giru, Piccolo and Gohan, Gohan and Golden Frieza, Trunks and Goten, random, LR Yamcha, Dispo. So yeah, great link. Attack 15% and 5% dodge. So you're not going to get that active very often, are you? So her best link partner is the Tech Nova Shenron. Or Mamba, strangely enough, but they don't share any teams outside of Peppy Gals. God, yeah, her link partners are all just awful. This is, well, we're off to a great start. She does share 3 links with AGL LR Baby, so I guess when Omega comes out, he also gets his EZA, so that'll be a bit of a better placement for her on the GT Bosses team, I guess. But taking a look at what she does, she raises attack and greatly raises defense for 1 turn, does supreme damage and seals super attack. So at least we have the greatly raised defense on her super attack effect. And then she gets key 3, attack and defense 150, additional attack and defense 100%, and launches an additional super when the enemy is in attack down or defense down. So any enemies you can't do that to, that's 100% attack and defense that she's not getting, as well as the additional super. Attacks effective against all types. Great chance of stunning the attacked enemy and high chance of launching an additional attack when the enemy is sealed. So her kit essentially only works against enemies that can actually be affected by status effects, which is kind of terrible. So let's see what we can do here. We don't really have a great setup for this turn, so we're just going to have to see what we can do. I thought we would do Red Zone Frieza because it's one of the easier longer form content events that can still pack a little bit of a punch. The fact that the second phase isn't physical AoE could actually be quite awkward, but at least the last phase is a tech boss, right? So, but let's see what we get up to here. So we're not going to be able to get, we didn't defense lower him or attack lower him with the tech sin, so we're not going to get the extra attack and defense here from her passive. 2.5 million. Oh geez, okay. Well, wow, look, that damage though. I mean, at least she takes double digit from the normal attack, but I mean, this is phase 1 of Red Zone Frieza, so bare minimum I would be hoping she would take double digit damage from that, right? So a little bit disappointing. He can be defense and attack lowered though in this phase, so kind of unfortunate. I guess I should have put the LR Shadow Dragon army in slot 1 then, eh? But Right, let's get you floated off and just hope that he doesn't super attack in slot 1 here, because one of her better link partners is that Tech Nova, and he is a support unit, so we'll get him floated off here. I was going to say, as long as he doesn't super slot 1, we should be fine, but Omega got the dodge anyway, so that's all good. Does he need to crit? Oh yeah, he needs to crit to kill him. Amazing. Alright, well, the other Omega Shenron at least has some links active here, and I know it's because they got no links, or like, you know, this guy doesn't have big bad bosses or fierce battle currently, but the fact that it took the 2 Omega Shenrons 4 attacks to finish off Frieza there was a little bit unfortunate. Now, 200k defense start of turn, that is rough. I mean, I guess the best thing we can really do then is just do this, because if he's gonna AoE super in slot 1, we're gonna have to eat that anyway. So I guess we might as well do this, but yeah, a bit awkward. Don't super in slot 1. Good. Okay. 230k. Oh, sorry, 2.3 million, I should say. Crazy. I mean, at least she does take double-digit damage from the normal attacks, but remember, he's still got an AoE in him, potentially, for this turn. God, this... I know we're only on a 170 team, so I need to temper my expectations based, you know, compared to what we would expect units to be doing on a double 200% leader, but yikes is a word that springs to mind for this, this EZA. Alright, so these guys getting some supers off. They're building up their damage reduction. That's fine. It's a shame they're on this rotation with her already, because I'll probably wait until we get around to this rotation again to then use their standby, because I really only brought it so we could see them, you know, dropping the 80% attack support and see what that does for Oceanus. I mean... You know, a large percentage of a small number is still going to be a small number, right? So, of course he AoEs in slot 1. Oh dear, are we dead? Oh, it was close. Jeez. Well, AoEs, right? Gotta love them. Even in these older events where they don't hit as hard, they're still, they still can be pretty brutal. So, finish them off here? Yep. Okay. The next phase is INT. God, what a rotation this is. Well, so they share 4 links, so that puts her at 285k defense. We can't attack lower or defense lower Frieza, so not exactly a great setup for her. I mean, I basically don't have any choice but to use an item here, right? Because otherwise we are just going to get crushed, which we actually might still do. I mean, if he supers in slot 1, we're probably just still dead, right? So... Okay... Good. 2.66. Big yikes. Now, the biggest problem is, like, any event that's worth its salt, like, any event worth playing, any event that is, like, a challenge... Basically most red zones, like some of the Dismal Future stuff like that, like you can't lower attack, and sometimes you can't lower defense as well. So her entire kit basically revolving around that is not good for her, and she's not on a lot of good teams as well. So, like, you know, if she was on a bunch of different teams, we could say, for example, I was thinking about it just this second, right? It's like, you know what, we could try taking her into, like, the Vegito Blue stage from the Divine Wrath and Mortal Will thing, right? Because you can lower attack in there, and attack lowering is incredibly useful. The problem is, I don't want to run Videl's team against Vegito, and I do not want to run double physical Omega Shenron against Vegito either. So, obviously when AGL Omega Shenron comes out, I guess it will be a little bit better. I guess that's the weird thing about this, is a lot earlier in the schedule. I'm only now putting 2 and 2 together here, that on JP this EZA came out after AGL Omega Shenron. So you already had her 200% lead team to run her on, and obviously he's AGL, so against that STR Vegito Blue, that team would be much better. So when the Worldwide Celebration came out on JP, running AGL Omega Shenron with Oceanus on the team would probably have been a viable strategy. I don't know if anyone actually did that for like a video or anything. But for Global, her coming out before him is basically just a huge detriment to her, because like, where are you running her? Like, she doesn't fit well enough on a Peppy Gals team that even if you were going to run a Peppy Gals team, I don't think you would use her. Like, you can make an argument for using Launch, right? Because her EZA is at least decent for, like, a Peppy Gals team. But, yeah, just, like, where are you running this Oceanus if not on that AGO Omega Shenron team? Which, obviously, we can't do on Global. So, yeah, this is a bit of a miss. Like I say, any event, like, you know, you can take her into other events and mess around. I mean, Super Battle Road, having those status effect abilities herself, like sealing and then obviously getting the extra buffs and all that kind of stuff, like, that can be very useful. But, again, going back to, like, the teams that she's on, like, the categories that she has, like, what stages are there left that you can even use her on anyway? Like, the Shadow Dragons ones came out ages ago. We finally get our first additional super as well, because that's the other thing. She, without getting that status effect lower, we don't have any way for her to get an additional. So she's just done one super a turn the whole time, unless we can get the hidden potential one to proc. Because greatly raising defense on the super is good, right? Like, that's a good effect, and it's very useful for her to have that to strengthen, like, her performance. But she's not going to be getting that most of the time, right? So very, very awkward. We'll do this. What does their active skill even do again? I can't remember the last time I used these guys. Key 7 and all enemies attack and defense minus 30% for one turn. So, I mean, that's a good combo for Oceanus as well, right? If you actually can lower attack, the fact that you could use these guys' active skill to lower the enemy's attack, which then procs her passive. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, because obviously we just want to stay alive for now. We need to get to the next turn, where we get Oceanus back with the GT duo, I think. Do we live this? We got type advantage and a Whis. Only just. Oh boy, this team is going through it, and this is only red Zone Frieza, and this team is hanging on by a thread. And he can super twice in one turn, and since he supered as the first attack, I am fairly concerned that he is going to super attack again, because if he super attacks either of these other two guys, even with a Whis active, like, we basically have no health. So, I mean, Omega could go off here and kill him. We could do another super, and they could all crit. Well, there's so much for that. I don't think the Shadow Dragon army has a chance of killing. Oh, man. Come on. That would have been so good. You don't tank this, right? Oh, he does tank this. Watch the Shadow Dragon army now actually get killed to a normal attack. Well, sorry, Omega. I was unfamiliar with your game, as the meme goes. I can't remember the last time I used physical Omega, because, again, no teams. Poor Shadow Dragons. And then, yeah, AGL Omega comes out for the 200% lead, but has the same name. So, oh god, are we even going to get a chance to attack here? Because I'm going to have to do this, right? So, we'll go ahead and do this. And we basically just have to hope that we don't get supered, because Well, obviously we won't die because we get the revival if we do die, but I want to see her at least attack with the extra 80% attack. Don't super me in slot 1. Don't do it. Because we got the Whis. Oh, well, there you go. So she doesn't live a normal attack with a Whis active before she gets her super attack off. So, yes, all in all, terrible unit, especially for this release on Global, right? If she was releasing and we had Omega to use, the AGL one, right? So the team would at least have a slightly higher leader skill. You know, maybe we could try out some of the tougher events, because Omega can be a pretty good slot 1 unit, which this team desperately needs, which, you know, we lost a lot of health early on because of stuff like that. Yeah, then maybe it'd be well, maybe the story would be slightly different, but she's still not going to be looking very good against these bosses where you can't use status effects, right? So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, but I think it is pretty safe to say that her EZA is just not good. I don't know why they did it the way they did. We've talked about this enough in the past with disappointing EZAs, but EZAs should be there to bring a unit back into relevancy, at least somewhat, and especially with how like down bad the Shadow Dragon Saga team is in general. Like, they should have done better with her, right? Because like what she has gotten is not what her teams need her to have, right? So I mean, we'll go ahead and do this. We'll get this one last turn in here with support. We're at 231, so if she's only getting one super, it means we're going up to like 350k defense, and that's it. That's all she has. So against any of these tougher bosses, any newer red zones, she's not even tanking normal attacks for double digits after she supers. So yeah, pretty terrible. We got an additional normal, amazing. And now she's got, oh god, I gotta see how much this does. Because this Frieza hits for like, is it 1.3 million or 1.4, something like that? So 400k after supering with type advantage. Damn. Well, there you go. So that was Oceanus Shenron with her EZA. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment sections. That is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.